Hello everyone. Today we will discuss um, what are the tools or software that we're going to use in order for us to start to build a website. So first, we need a software editor wherein we can use to edit our website or to edit our code. Okay, so what is the best software that we can use? So here's the best software that we can use, which is Visual Studio Code. So there's an option for you to download if you're using Linux, using Windows or Mac. So you have to choose which operating system is compatible for you to install the software. So our next step, once we successfully download the software, we need to click on the executable file for us to run the software in order for us to successfully install it and use it afterwards. So once you install the software, you have to double click the icon if you have icon on the desktop. So if none, so you have to search it for the software installed in your computer for you to run it, and you will be able to use that. Okay. So today we will start the overview or introduction of um, HTML. So what is HTML? So HTML is a hypertext markup language. So when we say HTML, is this a programming language? Anyone or anybody who are um, who have an idea, any idea about HTML, if it is programming language or not? Okay, so HTML is not a programming language. So this is a hypertext markup language wherein we can write a static web pages for your website. So in order for us to run or to view the output of your HTML, so we need to use a browser. So what are what are the browsers that we can use? You can use Google Chrome, you can use Mozilla Firefox, we can use Internet Explorer, and we can use Safari for Mac, and so on and so forth. Microsoft Edge, yes. So those are the browser that we can run our HTML. But later on, we can set it if what are the compatible browsers for your website. But later on, we will learn that. Okay, so once you've opened your Visual Studio Code, you will be able to have your appearance, which is this is your appearance. Um, you will be able to use this to edit your software. So before we go and proceed editing your HTML, so we need to create our project folder. So I'm gonna name this as web web project. So you can name it whatever you want as long as you can identify what project is that. So I'm gonna name it as web project. Okay. So inside the folder, we need to create other folders that we can store our files. So, what are the things that we're going to use, or what are the things needed in order for us to create a website? So, first thing is images. Okay, so we need to create a folder images. So, all of your images is will store in this folder. And next is a folder assets. So, assets. The folder inside the assets is your style, um, your functions or the functionality of your website, such as JavaScript, if you're familiar with that, jQuery or Bootstrap, so we can put it here. So let's say we will create our first folder, which is CSS. When we say CSS, that is a cascading style sheet. So we are going to use this to design your website, to put a background color, to put a background picture, to put a animation. So using CSS, and we can add more. So we can add um, JavaScript, or let's say JS, so in short for JavaScript. So you can add that. So all of your files, all of your style will be inside the CSS folder, and all of your JavaScript will store in the JavaScript or JS folder. Okay, so now since we have already the folder, let's go back to our um, HTML or editor in order for us to start building a website. So as you can see, there are menus on the top. Let me know if you see that. The file, the edit, selection, view, go, run, and terminal, and help. So in order for us to open the project folder, so we need to click on file and then open folder. As you can see, there a shortcut key that you can press on in order for you to open a folder. So you have to press in your keyboard Control plus K, Control plus O. That is for Windows. If you're using Mac, Command plus K and Command plus O. So this is the fastest way that we can open our folder. So we need to use the file menu and excuse me and click on open folder. So we need to find the folder we just created earlier. So let's go to desktop, and this is the folder that we created earlier. So this is the web project. So you have to click on that and select a folder. So right after that, you will be able to see this folder. So this is the name of our folder, and this is the assets. Inside the assets, this is the subfolders, or the this is will be our parent folder, or this will be the children's inside the assets. So as you can see, there's no file since we haven't created any file in your project. So let's go ahead and create the first page in our HTML. So as you can see, there is an icon along with the name of your project. So you have to click a new file here, the first icon. If you're going to hover your mouse, you will be able to see new file. Okay. All right. So, or you can go to file menu and control N to have your new file. Okay. So we need to save this file, index.html. Why index.html? So index is the first page that your browser will read. This is the default page. So some of the website, all of the website have index and that HTML. So that HTML, this is the extension file that we're going to use to identify that your file is an HTML, so that our browser will be able to read that this file is an HTML. So let's save that. Okay. So what if there is no file extension? So if there is no file extension, your computer or your browser will read that as a plain text. So be careful on that. Okay, so do you have questions before we proceed? Don't hesitate to ask questions. All right, so let's proceed. So let's talk about the basic parts of HTML. So HTML, so we have the HTML. As you write the HTML on your editor, um, there are suggestions by the Visual Studio Code editor, which one we're going to use. So HTML, HTML5, and HTML XML. So today, some of the website is requiring to use HTML5. So we were going to select the HTML5. So in order for you to select that, use the arrow keys on your keyboard or the arrow down keys on your keyboard to toggle that in order for you to select the HTML5. Or you can use your mouse as well and enter. So as you can see, there is a um, the basic elements of your HTML. So these are the basic one. So we have here doc type HTML. So this is your identification that um, this will be on the this will be on the HTML5 to identify that your you are writing HTML5. Okay, so you have to highlight it and okay, to identify that you are writing HTML5. So that is the use of doc type HTML. So next, language. So lang equals to n, that is referring to a language. So this is the abbreviation of your English. So for Japanese, you can search for that and make sure we have this is the language that you want to use to your website. So you can change this to Japanese, Chinese, whatever you want. So the next is the meta charset UTF-8 or the viewport meta viewport content in initial scale is equal to 1.0. So what is the use of this? So this is the file that um, will adjust the screen of your website. Whatever devices you're using, so your website will adjust it to the size of the screen. Okay. So any questions? Okay, so let's proceed to the basic elements of the website. So we have here the HTML. These are the element. So it will, and this is for the head. This is the head element, and we have here the head element, and inside of it, so this is will be the title. So the body, this will be the body wherein we can write our HTML tags. Okay, so why is it that there's a slash or forward slash um, on the elements? Okay, so HTML has a open tag. So this is your open tag, and this will be your close tag. So every time you write an HTML elements or tags, make sure open you have the open and close tag. Okay, so don't forget that. And okay, for the title, the use of the title is you will be able to see that on the um, tab menu on the browser. So, like for example, if we're going to um, change it to web project, okay. So I am going to run my file. So please look for the folder that we created earlier, and as you can see, um, our computer determines that this is the HTML tag. So automatically there is a default browser icon. So all you need to do is to double click. Okay, so as you can see, there is a web project on the tab menu. So this is the title tag. This is where you want to put the name of your website. Like for example, Credo, Credo IT School. So every time you have changes with your website, you have to refresh your browser for you to see the changes. So as you can see, we've changed the title of your website. So Credo IT School. So that is the name of your website. Okay. So inside the head, here we can put our style or what we call the CSS. Um, if you want to add more colors on your website, but later on we will learn on that. The next step is we will write our first HTML tag. Okay, in order for you to write the HTML tag, make sure that you are inside the open and close tag for the body. Okay, our next step is to create our first HTML, which is header one. Okay, so Credo IT school. Header one is, or heading one is serves as um, the title of the websites. So if we're going to follow the standards of the website or creating a website, you can only use this once or one at a time on every pages. Okay, heading one, each one can be used one at a time. Okay, so heading one is can be used one at a time in every page of every page. Okay, so you can only use it once. Okay, our next is header two. So we have the different kinds of headings. Sorry. header 2. So header 2 is like for example, Credo IT School is the other way that um, you can write your headings. So if you're familiar with a newspaper or any magazines or newspaper. Okay, let's have this example. Titanic sinks 1,500 die. So this is the heading 1. So the rest are maybe let us say heading 2 or heading 3, 4, 5, and 6. So HTML has 6 headings. So if we're going to run this program, this will be our heading 1. So heading 1 is um, the biggest one. Heading 2 is smaller than heading 1. So if we're going to write other headings, H3, H4, H5, H5, and H6. Okay. So if we're going to write this, copy and paste. So make sure your text is inside the close and open tag of your HTML. Okay, so will be the heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, and heading 6. So heading 6 is the smallest among. So that's how you write your headings on your website. So heading 2 to 6, you can use it many as you can, as long as that is on the page. So for the heading 1, you can only use it once. So according to the standard of the website or website standard. Okay, our next is how will you create a paragraph? This is how this is my paragraph. So this is my paragraph. So is there a limit? There is no limit to write your paragraph. So you can write it as many as you can. hmm Okay, so you can write it as many as you can. There is no limit on how to write your paragraph unless you will set a functions on the backend that you're only allowed 30. So that's the time you will have a limit to it to write a paragraph. But anyways, since we are still using HTML or the basic one, um, let's focus on the basic parts of the elements. Okay, so this is how you write a paragraph. So one more thing is how to write with the uh, ordered list. UL and LI and LI. So UL is an ordered list. So if you're going to use this tag, um, you will be able to get a bullet to it. So, like for example, students, teachers. Okay. So this is your unordered list. For ordered lists, is you will be able to have a number to it. Students, OI, and teachers. Okay, so I'm gonna put a heading here. Let's say H2. This is an ordered list, and H2. This is a ordered list. So as you can see, an ordered list. So it could be put as bullets. So ordered list, it could be the sequence using a number from 1 to so on. Okay, our next step is how to create a table. Good with that. A. Okay. So A means this is how you write like um, index.html. So this will be my home. This is how you write a link. So, okay, this is how you create table. TR and TH. So, student name and age, like course and age. This is how you write your table. So this is already our table, but we don't have yet a border. So let us put border to it. Border is 2. Yes. So we will able to have our border. So this is how we write our table. This is um, inside the TR. This will be our first row. This TR is our first row, and this is will be the TH serves as our column. So this is column 1, column 2, and column 3. Okay. So what if I am going to add a data to it? So you have to create another table row. So TR. Okay. So for table data, we are using TD tag. Okay. First, since our first column is requiring to write a name, I'm gonna put it, for example, jury Paris name and TD. We have here the course is Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering. Okay. Next, our third column is age D. I'm 29 years old. Okay, let's run it. Okay, so you can run as many as you can. You can copy this. So you will be create another row. You will be create another row. Okay, so how to fit it? Um, with 100%. Okay, so that's how you fit your table on the website.